Hi everyone, I am Ketra. Welcome to your collective reading for Gemini. So these readings are geared more towards those sober souls, those on the spiritual path to recovery, those that are healing from past traumas, addictions, or obsessive behaviors. As always, if you need additional help, please feel free to reach out to me. You can leave me a comment or send me an email. I am available next week for readings on Wednesday and Thursday. And as always, a huge thank you to all of my viewers and my subscribers. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to get an oracle message from the Wilder ones. I love the oracle decks. I highly suggest them. Go into a Barnes and Noble or any metaphysical store and pick up an oracle deck that you resonate with. And it's just a nice little way to start your day with your meditation, to just get some guidance from your higher selves or from the divine or from God, whatever you resonate with. And again, as always, this is a collective reading for Gemini. If the message does not resonate with you, that's okay. But if you feel this message may resonate for someone else, please share my video. So let's go ahead and get started. This one, got it. Balance your worlds. Big projects ahead. Time is on my side. I have all the space I need. So that's oracle message number one. Time is on your side. You have all the space you need, and it'll be pretty interesting to see what big projects you guys have ahead of you. We're going to use Spirit of the Animal Oracle deck too, as my ears are getting really loud. I love these decks too because they have great little messages as we're on our spiritual path to recovery. You? All right. Bison, abundance. Sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Absolutely. Every day is an opportunity to be grateful and to pray. And again, just if you could pray for just a few minutes, that's a form of meditation. So you're really being asked to resonate with that, that gratitude and that time for prayer, whether it's again to God, the divine, or just even to your higher self to guide you on your spiritual path. We're going to get another message from Oracle of the Unicorns. Beautifully illustrated cards. This is flow. Find an easier path forward. Surrender the outcome. Release expectations. And that is a beautiful message. When you release expectations of a situation, then it's easier, especially for the Gemini collective, to not become obsessive in your mind. Also in these readings, we'll touch on your light traits and your shadow traits too, just based off your astrology. And sometimes Geminis can be considered overthinkers. I do have a few Geminis in my life, so nothing on that. But yep, sometimes Geminis can be overthinkers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to be mindful of the spiritual steps in recovery, which are acceptance, hope, faith, courage, honesty, patience, humility, willingness, connection, alignment, self-discipline or devotion, and service to yourself, to others. Again, we're going to use the Celtic Cross, and we're going to see what the general energy right now is for Gemini. Where are they? The Empress. Right now is a time where you're being very nurturing and abundant to yourself. You may have noticed as you're on your spiritual path to recovery that things may be becoming easier for you. Sometimes when we learn so much so fast, then we start having questioning. We start questioning the things that we're learning, and that's okay. But we need to slow down and not overthink every little thing that kind of comes your way. Just understand that when you take the time to be slow and nurturing to yourself, allow yourself to be guided while you're on your journey right now. What challenges is Gemini facing right now? What challenges is Gemini facing right now? Page of Wands. So right now you're really curious about the new path that you're on. Again, I believe as we're on this path and we find out so many different things, it's like, okay, well, which way do we go forward? So I think you're learning a lot right now on this journey. And it's a great energy that you're in right now with that Empress and feeling like, okay, where do I go next? Which way do I go? So let's get a little bit more guidance on which way that you go. So card number 3 is typically what's in our past that is kind of coming up for us right now. 7 of Cups. So sometimes that's, especially for Geminis, that is when you have an overactive mind and you're thinking about all these different things all at once. So I think right now, if this is you and you resonate with that, I don't know a Gemini that doesn't resonate with the 7 of Cups. I think what you're being called to do is to be the Page of Cups and just be curious about one thing at a time. Find out about one thing at a time while you're on this spiritual journey to recovery. Just take it slow, one thing at a time. Some of your astrological strengths are love of learning that provides stability and clarity, leaning into yourself, leaning into your higher intuition, and journaling, speaking, art, as a way to kind of channel these thoughts right now that are kind of swirling around that 7 of Cups energy. So if we look at what is in the near future for Gemini, what is in the near future for Gemini? The Chariot. You are moving forward on your journey. You're leaving the past behind, those past shadow traits being, let's see, just that overthinking, that repetitive thoughts and behaviors that no longer serve us. You're moving forward past those repetitive thoughts and behaviors, and you're leaving them in the past where they belong. You're taking one thing and you're just kind of like moving forward with it. You're going with the flow. You realize that you can be taught the way of gratitude through prayer. So let's take a look at card number 5, above goals. So your goals, ideal outcome, not ideal outcome. Yeah, ideal outcome. What are your goals? Your goals right now are to be nurturing to your inner child. There's many meditations available for you guys online that really focus on nurturing your inner child. Remember to be kind and loving to yourself always. Remember how you talk to yourself. Kind of put yourself in the position of, would I talk to myself that way if I was 5? There's a meditation that I do, and at the end of it, it asks you to hold the face of yourself when you're a small child. And in the meditation, you tell yourself that you're okay, you're loved, and you're all of these amazing, beautiful things. So just remember on the daily to be kind and nurturing and abundantly loving to yourself, just like the Empress energy that you are right now. And so let's take a look at the subconscious of Gemini right now. Subconscious of Gemini, sometimes we remember about where we came from, and this is the Wounded Warrior card, 9 of Wands, right? Yeah, 9 of Wands, Wounded Warrior. Just remember how far you've come. Don't get stuck in those thoughts of the past, because again, you've got the Chariot here in your near future. You're moving forward from your past. And so this to me is literally being told to tell you to just, again, just like that Page of Wands, focus on one thing this week and do it really well. So if we look at the advice for our current situation, which again, I believe the current situation is focusing on the task at hand for this week. So what is your major task at hand for this week? And we'll get some clarification on the Page of Wands, I think. So again, 9 of Pentacles is being very nurturing and kind and abundant to yourself. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that's literally what Spirit's telling me. The 9 of Pentacles, she's in the picture, she's growing these grapes, and she has to be kind and careful about how she grows the grapes. And everything just comes so simple and easy to her. And I mean, like even the bird just lands on her arm, just as if there's not a care in the world. And so when you take the expectations, where did we have that? Find an easier path forward, surrender the outcome, release expectations. When you release the expectations of how you think things should be, your path to sobriety and your path to spiritual recovery becomes a lot easier when you just get in the flow of it. And so external influences or events affecting the outcome. The events affecting the outcome is the finalization of a cycle that you were in. So the cycle that you were previously in, that wounded warrior mentality has ended. And what you are being called to do right now is stay on your spiritual path to recovery, but just again, understand that that cycle has ended. You have blessings coming. You're praying, you're meditating, you're in that flow, as your oracle card says, but that cycle has ended for you. And it ends when you stay on your spiritual path to sobriety. So card number 9 is, what are the hopes and fears for Gemini right now? Hopes and fears for, I just heard, no overthinking. No overthinking. All right. So your 9th card, hopes and fears. So this card could be looked at so many ways. It's a card of possibly carrying burdens, or I feel today it is a card, especially because it's coming after the 10 of Swords, to go to the 10 of Wands, is that like high gear ambition to get things done. You want to take all of the things that you're learning right now and you just want to like move forward with them, but sometimes that can be quite burdensome. So again, I think the solid message for this week is for you to not carry so much. Figure out what it is that's most important to you this week, and realize the things that you are working on are literally moving you forward on your journey, because literally he put all of these wands to work, like say he harvested them and now he's going home. And so that's a beautiful, blessed thing. So after you realize that this cycle is complete from how you used to be, and you're really focused on that nurturing energy right now. But again, a couple of nods at that 9 of Wands, again, progression to the 10 of Wands. Understand that it's just one thing at a time right now, and that you have worked really hard on yourself. You have really done the work. But again, be kind and gentle to yourself is literally what I'm hearing. Kind and gentle. Take it easy, especially with that 10 of Wands. Remember, take it easy. Don't do things the hard way. Do things in a way that makes it simpler for yourself. So the outcome for our Celtic Cross reading is 5 of Pentacles. And so what I feel like this is that you understand that you're no longer self-sabotaging. You're no longer calling yourself out as a victim, because again, the progression, the cycle ending, I believe this 10 of Swords is a nod to the 5 of Pentacles, meaning that this cycle has ended. You're aware that you're carrying burdens and you may need to ask for help. And we're going to get clarification on a couple of cards. So I'm going to use a Rider-Waite deck also for clarification. But I want to know, why is the Page of Wands here? So what is it in reference to the challenge that they have? Because if they're open-minded and understand that they're on the journey through spiritual healing, why is the Page of Wands here? The Page of Wands here is showing you with temperance that you're taking one thing and mixing it in with another. So I think with that Page of Wands is you need to find some balance right now in your life. And you need to realize that you're in control. You're the magician right now, moving things forward. You're the one that knows the tools that they have, especially when we're on the path of like sobriety. We have been gifted with these tools that have worked for others, and we take the tools that work for us to continue on our spiritual journey. So show me the cycle that has ended with the 10 of Wands. Show me the cycle that has ended with the 10 of Wands. You can't make this up, especially considering I tend to gear my readings towards sober souls. This is the Devil. So the cycle that has ended is those negative thoughts, those repetitive thoughts, that overthinking kind of ways, and the addictions from the past, whether it's addictions to substances or alcohol, addictions to relationships that don't serve you anymore. That cycle has ended for you, and that is fantastic. Can you give me a little bit of guidance on the 10 of Wands? What are they carrying? The Emperor. Okay, so I feel like what this means, if it is clarifying the 10 of Wands, is you could possibly be doing too much, thinking that you have to do everything on your own. Again, with sobriety, you don't have to do everything on your own. Spiritual path of recovery, don't have to do everything on your own. You can get help. And don't overthink things. So this shows with the 7 of Pentacles that you're in your head, you're in your thoughts, and that's okay. But just take those moments to realize that you don't have to do everything on your own. You don't have to be so structured. Just be the fool. Be the fool. You're on a new journey. You're on a new path. You're treating yourself in a different way. Again, that nurturing and kindness and abundance is go with the flow, like your oracle card. That's kind of how you're being guided this week, is just go with the flow. And again, so the 5 of Pentacles, I'm not surprised it's the 4 of Cups. So the 4 of Cups, typically, and especially because we're talking to our Geminis out there, is not recognizing that, yeah, things that you've done in the past may not have worked out, but it's okay, because Spirit is always with you. Spirit is always ready to guide you on your journey. And so it's like you're being gifted something from above in reference to the 5 of Pentacles. So it could be your intuition. If you're kind of getting into those negative thoughts or negative patterns, just remember your intuition is going to try and talk to you. And kind of talk you out of it. I would like to show you this card. It's the Lover's card, but I forgot to draw little bikinis on them, so I can't show you. But with the Lover's card and the 4 of Cups, it's a choice. You have a choice today. So for your final outcome card and the Lover's card, it's that you have a choice to be kind and loving to yourself. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of messages from this oracle deck here. And again, I just keep hearing kind and loving. Easy does it. Journal. I love this mantra. I speak my truth and honor my feelings with clarity and care. And that makes sense, especially with the general feeling of the reading that Spirit just wants you to be kind and loving to yourself. I don't see anything major coming up for you this week. And that's, okay. So we're going into Cancer season. And so now is a good time to take inventory about how you feel. By journaling could help too, because it gets it up and out of you, and it gets it in black and white. Because I believe the Cancer season is really a time where if you haven't dealt with the illusions, the things in your head, it could get kind of heavy in the month of July. So I think that's kind of why you've got this reading, it being almost the last week of the month, that it's really a nod to, remember that you're on a journey, and the journey doesn't stop. And especially with spiritual recovery, you're always learning. Remember your inner goddess, whether you're male or female. It's sometimes even with male, sometimes you need to tap into the feminine side to kind of be kind and loving to yourself. That's exactly what it is. If you are a male, remember, tap into your inner female. Be kind and loving to yourself. If you're female or other, just remember that you have that balance of feminine and masculine, and it's okay to recognize when you're not being kind and loving to yourself, and that you maybe need to be a little bit more nurturing, like the Empress. So inner goddess, express your divine feminine energy, and loving wisdom will transform your life. Absolutely. That is literally, like, my heart feels really good right now. Like, I feel very emotional. And I think it's because I've definitely tapped into the Gemini collective of where they're at spiritually while they're on their path. And I think we're going to use one more little message from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, which I love so much. And I love that they're little. I don't know why. I just love that they're little. Armadillo Spirit, set healthy boundaries. And you have Vulture Spirit, nothing is wasted. And what I feel from this, nothing is wasted. 6 and 3, they break down to a 9, right? And 9 is like completion. I know 10s in tarot are completion of cycles usually, but a 9 is nothing is wasted. The path that you've gone through, nothing is wasted. We go through the shadows to get to the light. We can't have the ups if we don't have the downs. And that is literally staying balanced this week. Be kind and loving and nurturing to yourself. Listen to your intuition and go from there. So until the next video, thank you so much for watching. Take care and have a great day.